Hey guys, and welcome back to hearDsay. So today we have something very, very, very salacious and very special. I have got Joshua Drew's deposition transcript here. Now remember that the deposition videos that they show in court have been edited down by both sides. Their lawyers go through, they cut out the objections. So we are looking at Joshua Drew's deposition transcript. So this was taken on the 12th of February, 2020. Now let's read along. This is Ben Chew. We all know and love Mr. Ben Chew. He took this deposition. We are on page 53 of the deposition, and when Mr. Chew asks why Rocky and Amber aren't friends anymore. Okay. Did Amber explain to you, either when you met at the bar Bandini or any time since you've been reacquainted, why she and Rocky did not speak or were no longer speaking? Yes. What did she say about that? Josh Drew answers, my understanding is that at the dissolution of our relationship, she left the apartment that we shared together, and moved in with Amber shortly thereafter. I can't say specifically because Raquel and I were not in regular contact. Now guys, remember, Josh Drew and Raquel got married after the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard divorce. Now this is in February of 2019, so obviously they didn't stay married very long. But let's continue. And the story that I got from Amber specifically was a long, drawn-out, dramatic sequence of events where she was intermittently in New York for jobs, and she was in Australia or worldwide doing press for Aquaman, all sorts of different things, while Raquel and her new boyfriend lived in Amber's apartment. And over the course of that time, Raquel had been given a debit card by Amber. Her boyfriend at the time had also signed for a car that had been sent for Amber, that Amber refused repeatedly, and that ostensibly they were subsidizing their lifestyle out of Amber's petty cash, and that there were a variety of incidents, loud parties, damage to the house, arguments with the landlord, arguments with the neighbor, of which, and again, I wasn't present for any of this. My understanding is that Amber was present for some of it, but not present for most of it. And I don't know the specific incidents that predicated it, but at a certain point towards the end of it, Amber kicked out Raquel's boyfriend, and shortly thereafter kicked her out, and that they hadn't spoken since. What is the name of Rocky's boyfriend who was kicked out? I know his first name. It's Kelly. That's all I know. Okay, so later on the same page, Ben Chew asks, did she have an affair? Yes. Did she tell you about the affair while she was having it? No. Was it the affair with this creep called Kelly? Correct. Now, keep in mind that this split between Rocky and Amber, this is Amber's side of the story. So we know to take that with a grain of salt. Mr. Benjamin Chew asks, Mr. Drew, I want to turn your attention to another incident in April 2016 after the birthday party, of which you may or may not be aware. And if you're not aware, I'm not going to pursue it. Do you recall an incident in which Mr. Depp complained about excrement being put on his bed in Penthouse 3? Yes. What, if anything, do you know about that? My understanding is that following Amber and the girls' departure for Coachella, Johnny had woken up. I couldn't tell you whether it was the morning or the afternoon, rolled over into excrement, and believed that one of the group, specifically Io, I can't believe I'm going to have to say this out loud. I'm sorry, but I have to ask it. Had specifically gone into a toilet to remove one of their own turds and place it in the bed as a practical joke. And this became a gigantic argument between the whole group. Johnny blaming Io, blaming Amber for this. At a certain point down the line, claiming that he had his house manager, Kevin, take samples and send it off to a DNA lab to be tested. And it came back as positive that it was human DNA, even though they had 2 little Yorkshire Terriers that were never housebroken, and their homes were pretty much at some point during the day, had dog piss or excrement on their couch, on the bed, on the floor, anywhere the dogs could get to. Now, we heard from Mr. Depp himself, but maybe he was embarrassed. Or maybe, most likely, Amber was lying, bragging about this to Josh Drew. Because from what we've heard, Johnny Depp was not in the bed. Thank God. Regrettably, I'm going to have to break this down. How are you sure that Mr. Depp was there in bed at the time? Josh Drew says, what I know secondhand from Raquel and Amber and Io. So if you haven't gone to the channel Incredibly Average on YouTube, you need to. So that's what we know. That's Josh Drew's deposition. That's what he claims Amber told him about the grumpy, that Io went into the toilet and threw it on the bed. That is vile and disgusting, and everyone involved should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. Also, I very much doubt that is the full story of Amber and Rocky's split. Notice how Amber is always the victim and being taken advantage of? If you'd be so kind, take a moment and like this video.